Hey everybody, my name is Mike Montgomery and welcome to episode 3 of my DIY Airstream or Avion travel trailer renovation. If you haven't already seen episode 1 or 2 of this series, the link will be down in the description, but we are starting episode 3 in the bathroom. We're gonna get this thing functional. First thing on the list was to expose the old drain line for the bathroom sink leading directly to the gray water tank. Now this is 1.25" ABS pipe, not PVC. I'm not sure why RVs and travel trailers use ABS pipe, but make sure and note that whenever you're buying any pipe, couplings, and your cement. I just made sure to apply the glue on each of the 2 pieces and then held them in place for about 60 seconds before I let go. That way the joints couldn't push out, which could potentially cause a leak. I used the same boards that were already on the half wall. I just nailed them and made sure to cut around that pipe, and I now have an effective stub out for my bathroom sink drain. Awesome. When I was putting down the flooring in episode 1, I took note of where the drain was for the toilet as well. And here I used a Forstner bit and a multi-tool to expose the drain that goes to the black water tank, which is directly underneath the toilet. I did need to put in a new flange, but first I installed this riser and then screwed down the flange, which pulled everything tight before I screwed it in. I'm putting in a new toilet, but I chose a taller one than the ones that these RVs came with. Those were super short, and I just wanted it to be a little more comfortable. It limits access to a couple of these drawers, but I'll take it. I got a very fun bathroom sink with a lid on the top. That way you have a usable surface whenever you're getting ready, since most travel trailers don't have a ton of countertop space. I built my counter out of MDF, and I'll be wrapping it with vinyl just like I did with all the other countertops in episode 2. This went really fast and I got a super clean result. To be honest though, the vinyl is a stopgap. I want to do epoxy counters in this travel trailer. I do think it'll be worth it and be way more durable. This piece of plywood that I'm putting edge banding on is going to serve 2 purposes. It's part of the base for the bathroom vanity. It's also going to cover a big portion of the wardrobe that's actually an access panel to the hot water heater and the plumbing behind the drawers. On the other side, I'll hold up the counter using a cleat that I attached to that half wall. I made sure to use only screws and no glue. That way if I need to remove these boards to access that drain line again. I will be adding a center support leg, but I wanted this vanity to be floating. That way I could still use the access panel door underneath the vanity, and that's for sliding the 30-foot canopy inside of the trailer for whenever you're storing it or traveling and you don't want it attached to the side. I just wanted to make sure that whatever I built didn't block that. And here you see me touching up with a little bit of white paint on a roller. This is flat, ultra pure white by Behr. The previous owner had clearly altered the plumbing a lot since he had removed the toilet for a composting toilet and the bathroom sink. Not sure what he was doing there. But I did reinstall some lines. I used this clear vinyl that has a PSI rated high enough for my water pump, so hopefully all of the connections are strong and don't leak. After I hooked the water line up to the toilet, I put some eye hooks on the bottom of the vanity, and then I used curtains to hide the whole mess. Big shout out to my mom for sewing these. The last big step here in the bathroom is to take out this oversized shower curtain rod. I'm sure it's nice on the inside of the shower, but it does take up a lot of headroom, and I'm tall for this trailer already, so it needed to go. And this original small track takes these nylon inserts that sew in to whatever shower curtain you want to use. Big shout out to my mom for sewing these in, and it actually worked fine with a standard sewing machine. And check out how good this looks. There's the floral design on the outside, but then the waterproof liner on the inside. Let's hang it up. I'll be sure to leave a link to the nylon sew-in inserts in the description below, along with all of the other tools, materials, and supplies for this project. It works! All right, bathroom is complete. Let's move this way. So this is not the original microwave that came with the trailer, and I don't like that large space, the open void above it. So I'm just gonna cut a filler piece out of this maple plywood. I'm gonna edge band it just like I did on the base of the vanity and stain it my best to match the walnut finish on the cabinet. I sanded everything up to 220 grit, and I just used a mix of Danish oils. It's some of the dark walnut, it's some of the natural, and there's a little bit of red mahogany stain in there to try and match that red tone in the cabinets. Overall, it's not perfect, and the difference shows up on camera a little bit more than in person, but still, it blends in a ton. Way better in my opinion. Oh, and the base cabinets needed this filler strip. And this panel next to the refrigerator is the last eyesore when it comes to the cabinetry. The majority of the damage is down here at the bottom, and this is actually an access point for the wiring for the refrigerator and the floor heater. I want to make sure that I keep this access down here, and I've got a plan. I got this 2 foot by 4 foot piece of 1/4 inch MDF that I'll use as a cover for this whole side of the fridge. I'll wrap it in fabric and it should look great. I got a good scribe by measuring from the edge of the cabinet to the wall about every 3 or 6 inches depending on how much curve there was, and I made sure to add a little bit of a curve between the dots instead of just connecting them with a straight line. After I confirmed I had a good cut, I then used a little bit of foam batting and then fabric around the board, and I stapled it in place. It came out looking really clean, and to attach it to the wall, I'm using double-sided sticky Velcro. One piece sticks to the wall, and the other piece sticks to the panel. That way it's still removable, and I can get to that wiring underneath the cabinet. It's perfect! There's already a lot of brass accents in this trailer, and so I added a simple coat rack on the entryway. This should be really useful. And really quick, I'd like to give a big thanks to the sponsor of today's episode, Squarespace. If you need a website, an online store, or just a custom domain, Squarespace is your one-stop shop. And the best part is you need zero website building experience. I'm serious, if you can upload files and drag and drop text blocks, you are well on your way to a one-of-a-kind site. Squarespace's designer templates look great on desktop, tablet, and mobile no matter where customers find you, and they are packed with tons of great features like no limits to the number of products you can sell using a Squarespace store, Squarespace's Video Studio mobile app that allows you to create high-level professional content for your website and social media, and do not forget, member areas where you can package premium content behind a paywall, charging your members a monthly subscription fee. So to learn more, make sure and follow my link down in the description. That is squarespace.com/modernbuilds, where you can build out your entire Squarespace site before entering any of your credit card info. And then when it's time to make your website live, don't forget to use my code ModernBuilds for 10% off your first site, store, or domain through Squarespace. One more big thanks to Squarespace. Now let's get back to this project. Welcome back, everybody. The Airstream has a built-in sound system, and the covers are a little ugly. It's just black foam. To update them, I wrapped them in the same batting and fabric that I used next to the refrigerator, but this time I put the fabric horizontal. That way it looked like audio waves. Pretty neat. There's some indirect recessed lighting above each of the windows, and it's missing the diffusion panel that I'm sure came with the trailer. I picked up some 1/8 inch frosted acrylic off of eBay, and I'm going to be cutting some custom ones to size. I couldn't get acrylic long enough to make one piece above each window, so I split each window in half, and I cut everything with a high-tooth jigsaw blade on my jigsaw. I think it was actually for cutting metal, but it worked really well. Nailed it. Instead of rewiring and replacing all of these beige outlets with some fresh white ones, I decided to save some time and money by using the same wallpaper that I used on my kitchen backsplash to wrap the outlets. This peel and stick wallpaper is really sticky, it works really well, and using an X-Acto blade, I was able to carve out the outlet and the screws. A lot of people have been wondering what I'm going to do with the Avion Airstream once I get done with the house renovation here in Oklahoma, since I've already got the school bus tiny house in California. And the big answer is I'm not sure yet. I do know that over the next couple of months, I want it to be comfortable and operable for me, but afterwards, usable if somebody buys it. And I'm considering driving it out to California where I could sell it for a few grand more, I suspect, just because it's a hotter market. But then again, I got a good deal, and I've put a lot of work into this trailer, so I'm not in a rush to sell it. So if I do anything with it, I'll let you know, but so far, no definitive plan. We are currently refurbishing the old cutting board that came with this travel trailer. I sanded everything with 80 grit after I washed it and bleached it, and then attached a new end. That way it didn't slide too far into the cabinet. After that, I used 120, 150, and 220 grit to get a really clean finish before applying a little bit of cutting board oil. Mineral oil would also work fine. Oh, and in this next shot, you can see why I needed to put the end on the cutting board. That way it wouldn't keep sliding into the cabinet like it did before. It is now time to install shades. I got these easy lift ready shades that you're supposed to be able to trim to size with a sharp kitchen knife. Let's find out. So I have had my fair share of successes and failures with Amazon products, but I was really skeptical of this one because I knew there was plastic and paper or fabric involved in making these shades. But I got a sharp cutting knife, I used a chef's knife, and it worked really well. There's crazy strong adhesive on the back of the blinds, just peel and stick them, and they work great. Okay, this works surprisingly well. Let's get the next one cut. I found that using a rocking back and forth motion on the blade really helped, and you need to put quite a bit of downward pressure. I will not lie, I wanted to try using a miter saw on one of these blinds, but once I realized that the knife worked and I got clean results, I didn't want to mess up one of these blinds and have to order and wait for them to ship a replacement. I do want to get ahead of some of the comments that are going to say that using adhesive on the shades is a bad idea, and I don't blame you for saying that. Probably a mechanical fastener like screws would be best, but these shades don't have brackets. I do have a plan if any of these ever fail, and that is just to use Gorilla Glue hot glue with my Ryobi hot glue gun. I'll just cake it on the top of the shade and attach it, and I know for a fact that'll never let go. It's crazy strong. I'm really excited for this next step. I'm installing a flexible track for the curved window in the front of the trailer. You just need to attach these brackets at whatever curve that you want the track to bend, cut it to size with a jigsaw, and then put it into those clips. The track is just this little plastic I-beam that takes these rollers, and then I clipped on the shades. And I've got to give one more thanks to my mom in this video for sewing up these custom curtains. We used white duck canvas, and it looks really nice. Check them out. Nice. Boom! What was that?
I got to do my hair.
Nothing in that one. Thank you for the help, Mom.
You're very welcome.
Underneath my upper cabinets is the last bits of the original paneling or wallpaper texture, and I really felt like I needed to cover this up. I was gonna peel and stick it, but I don't trust the peel and stick now to hold upside down, so instead, I'm painting it flat white to match all of the walls. This isn't a huge step, but this, along with wallpapering the front door, went a long way in finishing up this camper, because now there's no more of that original off-white beige panel look. It's now all fresh, white, contemporary, and modern. Even though this is a pretty cool, almost mid-century vintage wallpaper that I am using. It looks really awesome, but it's still fresh, white, and bright. So we are steaming right along on this project. We're almost done. I needed to get the mattresses down from the storage loft in the barn. It worked really well. I stored everything with the old sheets on it, but I'm putting new ones on. I got clean, fresh, white ones, as you probably guessed, with a little bit of visual texture. There's already a lot happening in this bedroom, so I wanted a simple sheet set, and the comforter just has a little bit of visual texture, even though it is still flat white. And it is time to call it a day because tomorrow is gravel day. I'm gonna be parking the trailer right next to the barn, that way I've got power and everything that I need, but the old gravel pad is grown up. It's tractor time! What's up, everybody? I'm sure we got more gravel than we need. Let's move it. This is just your standard 3/4 inch crushed gravel. It's spread pretty well. I moved the majority of it with the tractor, but a rake really did a lot of the work, finessing everything once I got the hump out of the pad. Once that was complete, my buddy Andy helped me out installing a new outlet for the travel trailer on the side of the barn. We ran a 220 plug and wire set with a 30 amp breaker. Just connect your hot wires to the breaker and your ground over there to the terminal that you'll see in just 1 second. It's all the green wires here together. We used flexible pre-wire conduit to the outside where we put this plug, the same thing you would use for a dryer or a welder, I guess. With that done, we could get the Airstream parked in place next to the barn, but not blocking the side entrance door. That was really important. There's a couple of built-in bubble levels on the trailer to make sure you get everything sitting level, and once everything is jacked up, I could plug it back in and test it all out. But first, it's time to unbox the new sofa that I just got delivered the day that I was filming. It's a nice tufted brown leather sofa that I got for a great deal. Links for everything, like I said, will be down in the description. It's got walnut legs and really ties in with the original components and the new pieces here in the travel trailer. Y'all know me, I love a good irregular rug. I used this 3 foot by 5 foot one in the living room. I also added a lift top coffee table that I got for under $100. And honestly, between the hardware for the lift top and the materials, I couldn't have built it cheaper. I've been waiting to install the old bathroom door just because I've been in and out a lot and I didn't want it bumping into things, but I could finally put that in, along with the new runner lights on the outside and the inside of the trailer. You can find these and similar lights by searching 12-volt snap-in license plate light on Amazon, Google, or anywhere else you're searching. I went with a warm light on these since these are going to be more like night lights when all of the other lights are probably off in the trailer. It's a little bit more of a vibe that way, I think, but it still came out looking really nice and the new chrome goes a long way. I promise we are really getting down to the last couple of things. This grate is a cover for the furnace, and I wanted to clean it and spray paint it a little bit more of a shiny brass gold. That way it matched the other finishes in the space. Before I did anything, it was really dirty, and just cleaning it went a long way, but brightening it up a couple of shades distracts from the weathered door since this is the roughest in the whole Airstream. I'm for sure gonna need to fix that tire, but before we check this trailer out, let's go to the befores. Before we did anything to this 1987 Avion by Fleetwood trailer, it was rough. The kitchen cabinets were super weathered, and everything was outdated. I could tell that there was really good potential in this project, but it needed a lot more than a deep clean. But we put in the work, took way more time than we expected, so let's go ahead and check out these afters. So there you have it. It's light, it's bright, it's mid-century modern, cool. The gray wash floors really toned down a lot of the competing wood tones that were happening before. The lift top on the coffee table should be great for working on. The coffee station should keep me working even longer. And the kitchen really is functional. We've refinished the cabinets everywhere and they're looking a ton better. There's a lot of room in the pantry and the fridge is super cold. And what can I say about the bedroom area? I know it's a little funny that it's got 2 twin beds instead of a queen or king, but I love this capsule of wallpaper. All in all, the bathroom is way better. It didn't even have a toilet or sink before. Now we've got a functional toilet and vanity where everything feels more clean and way more homey. So again, thanks everybody for watching. You'll continue seeing the trailer in the house flipping series. We are currently in what should be the last snap of cold weather. I'm down to 1 jacket instead of 2 already, and it is time to really get after it on this renovation. So make sure and subscribe and hit that notification bell, and we'll see you next time on Modern Builds. No, Mike's first flip. Bye everybody.